Sign. Visitors to the Echo River Slow Spotted Bat Artificial Hibernaculum and Sanctuary are asked to take extra precautions in order to prevent the introduction of foreign fungal contaminants and the spread of white nose syndrome. Please do not visit the sanctuary during the same day in which you visited any cave known or suspected to host bats infected with white nose syndrome. Please do not leave your vehicle. If you must leave your vehicle, please remove shoes, clothes, jewelry, headwear, and eyeglasses to ensure you do not bring any foreign spores ashore with you. Please do not touch any bats or structures. The slow-spotted bat is confused by light. If you're using a lantern or any other artificial light source, be aware that it may attract and confuse bats. If you are approached by bats, do not panic. Relax. Stop your vehicle and switch off your light. Never touch a bat. Switch off the light. But we don't move if we don't have the light on. So I guess we just have to switch it off if a bat comes and pays attention to us, maybe? Because if I switch it off, we stop moving. Yeah. Alright, fine. Yeah, I suppose it would be pretty hard to navigate between these trees. Oh, what's this? Bat fact! Ever talk with your mouth full? Bats do it all the time. Bats talk in extremely high-frequency clicks, too high for humans to hear. Then they use their powerful ears to scan for the echoes of these ultrasonic clicks. By comparing very subtle differences in the time these echoes take to come back, differences of just millionths of a second, bats are able to picture their environment with enough accuracy to catch a flying insect. Once a bat has caught an insect in its mouth, it's still flying and still needs to avoid running into anything, so bats keep clicking away, even while they munch on a tasty bug snack. It may be poor table manners, but it's crucial for surviving in the dark. I wonder how the other bats know whether one of them is really talking or just chasing a bug. I think when they're actually communicating, it sounds more like singing. I'd like to hear that. Go, go, go! Drive on! Oh, starting to get a bit tired. But I think we should be starting to get towards the end now. Please drive past the bat fact. Okay, cool. Sorry, I just wanted to test it if it would work, or if I had to read the bat fact. Apologies to anyone who wished to have seen the bat fact. But I know about as much about bats as I ever intend or wish to know about bats. And so right now, I just wish to get through this wonderful sanctuary. Oh, another bat fact coming out. Bat fat. Excuse me, that is a radio frequency. What was that? Was it bat radio? Continue driving past the bat fact, please. Thank you. Oh, maybe I should probably... Hang on, I just realized there's a lot of bats around. Oh no, they're still around. I just wasn't sure if I needed to maybe like switch the light off to get rid of some of the bats, or if it was just supposed to happen. Why are there like electricity poles running along the side here, or telephone poles, or whatever they are? Oh, cool. Wait, what? Where the fuck are we? Careful up there. Can't drive your new truck if you slip and break your legs. You true. Try not to make any more bad deals while I'm gone. I'll just be floating along down here. I just mean keep your eyes open and don't look back. Oh, hi. I remember you. What are you doing down here? I'm just exploring. I like dark underground places. I'm a romantic. Really? What does that mean to you? It means I like poems and rivers and mysteries. Okay, bye. Bye, Flora. Who is this old-looking... Dashiell! What a name! I also love this green roof. That is beautiful. Could be bypassed with another capacitor at 100 nanofarads to reduce noise. If your circuit's too noisy, you should tie those floating pins to the ground. Huh. That's a pretty good idea. They're probably picking up all kinds of radio interference. Dashiell Morse, pleased to meet you. We don't install this type of phone for customers anymore, but there are quite a few of them still in circulation. Anyway, the new system doesn't source enough current to ring these old bells. So I'm trying to come up with a workaround. Maybe a little box the customer could attach right before the wall jack. I'm a bit of a circuit geek myself. I bet. I mean, you seem very comfortable with electronics. Is this your first time down here? Yeah, I can tell your eyes can't quite adjust to the light. Takes some practice. Believe it or not, I've been coming here ever since I was a kid. For one reason or the next. Back then, this place was a train station. It's true. They had bats then, too, but they were considered a nuisance. A train station? What happened to it? Well, the river shifted and this place slowly filled with water, carrying the trains away with the current. It does that. Oh, excuse me. Does that, the river. And I don't begrudge it. It's a good reminder that everything we have is borrowed. Even trains. Eventually, someone at the Bureau of Reclaimed Spaces heard this place was still empty, so they moved the phone company in here. I returned here as a young lineman, a skill I picked up in wartime, running telephone wires behind enemy lines. We used trees instead of poles. I missed that, actually. They were easier to climb. It's just as well. I'm in no shape to be climbing anything these days. The closest I get is patching up the wiring in the crystal room for the Weavup folks. Weavup. That's community television. I volunteered down there for a number of years. I know everybody over there. Ralph, Sherry, Weaver, Dave. Weaver Marquez? Sure, Weaver Marquez. That's funny. I was just thinking about her. Yeah, I met her a couple of times at the TV station. I suppose I didn't know her too well. She handled the archives, and I was helping with wiring and stuff. She really seemed to know her way around all that gear, though. She had a head for signals, I think. No idea where she ended up. I would guess she's probably not too popular around the station anymore, but I always liked her. Listen, miss, if you're interested in WebUp, you should talk to them directly. They're always looking for volunteers. Take the ferry over to the silo. There's a mail stop there. They don't have a sign or anything. Just ask around. I guess I'll get back to this damn old ringer. Poppy's just a little further down if you're dropping off that package. Nice chatting with you. Poppy! Poppy! Poppy, Poppy! 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 Just set it right over there by the lamp, sweetie. Thank you. Actually, just a minute. Who does that parcel claim to be from? Oh, God. Laszlo Electronics. Ooh, must be my new patch cables, and not a minute too soon. This one here is hanging on by a fiber. So, who are you? Do you work for the post office or the tugboat? I only ask because I haven't seen you before. Was that you I heard chatting down the hall? Yeah, I just met Dashiell. Ah, he's been working on that obsolete ringer, hasn't he? Poor Dashiell. You know, he's not really... He was let go a while back. A long while, actually. When they started restructuring, he was one of the first to go. But he talked them into letting him come every day and fiddle with some interminable project. He says it's to keep a long gap from growing his resume. But I think he just has nothing better to do. One of those old men who needs to work, you know? Doesn't know how to be any other way. Well, there are no real jobs here, but there are fake jobs, I guess. It wasn't always like this. When I came to work at the Echo River Central Exchange, there were 12 of us. Loretta, Edna, Meg, Cara, Marie, Lois, Liz, Hester, Angie, Wilma, Connie. I was number 12. Connie and I were hired on the same day, but she showed up early. Marie finished college, and Hester was fired for snapping at a rude caller. But he had it coming, and I hear she did just fine on her own. So they hired Beryl, Jaina, and Sachiko. which brought us up to 13, and that was as many operators as we ever had here at one time. The power company came along, buying up all the lines, and one day they took the exchange as a throw-in, like it was nothing. Nothing. And they started phasing us out. Edna, Meg, Kara, and Lois left one Friday evening and were asked not to come back on Monday morning. Beryl saw the writing on the wall and quickly found employment at a private PBX. They had Jaina and Liz stop routing calls and write up some kind of best practices document instead. It was their final task as exchange employees. Some of the girls were reassigned to other divisions. Connie, I think, was checking residential meters. Sachiko and Wilma were moved into energy sales, cold calling businesses to see if they needed to upgrade their electricity plan. At least they were still on the phone. Then it was just Loretta, Angie, and me. We were swamped. The hours were hell, and hard on the throat. You're telling me. The voice with a smile became a croak. I was gargling warm salt water in the break room, sipping from a thermos full of hot honey broth stashed under my chair. Oh, and I brought a lot of extended technique to the switchboard in those days. Oh. Operator. Sounded pretty good to me. Yeah, I'm impressed. Oh no, he's got the voltage too high. He'll burn out the relay. So where was I? Extended switchboard technique. It was all about timing your breath. Some girls got lightheaded doing too many calls in a row. With that upbeat dynamic inflection they made us use to keep everything intelligible. It was very physical. So after a few months, it was just me. A new automation strategy was announced, and this place was rechristened Consolidated Auxiliary Switch number 30. If it's automated, what do you do here? It's not fully automated. There are still gaps in the functionality that need a human touch. And you know, it really is all about touch here. Sound is vibration, a touch you feel in your ear. So my voice is the touch. Is my touch. When we're talking, we're touching. Even on the phone. It's an electric touch, an intimate little shock that makes your tiny hairs tremble. That's not even what I mean when I say it's all about touch here. When the power company first tried automating this old exchange with fancy new transistor arrays, the switchboard caught fire. It was just too much, too fast. So they tried using some clunky old mechanical relays, but then the calls were getting mismatched and out of sync. It was a nightmare. Their technicians determined that the phone system down here had been designed ad hoc over decades around the specific tempo of its human operators. So, short of replacing the whole thing, not to mention all the wiring, they'd have to work out the exact timing of every little human gesture that goes into routing a phone call. And that, officially, is my role here. I run the switchboard from the whole exchange. Once the work of 12, I'd like to remind you. They have some kind of machine somewhere that tracks how long it takes for me to do every little thing. The callers never hear my voice now. They dial, my little indicator light switch on, and I make the connection. Do you miss talking to callers? You know, there's something that bothers me about the process, besides the fact I'm training my replacement, who isn't even human. Here's what I mean. How long do you think it should take to time my every move and recreate that timing in an automated switchboard? Rough estimate. At least a month. That's what I said. But this has been going on for over a year. And a very dark thought has started to nag at me. What if there is no cheap machine that's going to replace me? What if it's cheaper just to keep me here, filling in for the rhythm of the operators? What if I'm the cheap machine? You're not a machine. Nice of you to notice. I'm more on the Echo River Central Exchange, and I'll carry a torch for the voice with a smile. But at least I'm keeping some part of it human, right? Even if it's not the best part. Oh, the parcel. Right over there by the lamp is fine. Thanks for dropping that off. Take care. Think of me when you dial 0. Oh, hey guys. Conway. What is this? What is happening? What's going on? Was Conway taken by the distillery people? Turned full skeleton? Excuse me. She returned on the dinghy alone. She had a strong and sudden urge to shut the motor off and let the current take her, but she couldn't work out where that impulse came from, so she did her best to resist it. She met a family of 5 on a flat-bottom bottom skiff. She met a guitar player, pedaling a floating bicycle with his dog in tow. He said they took turns. The water was cold, and the floating bicycle, while technically marvellous, wasn't quite buoyant enough for the both of them. Swimming is hard work. The hardest work that dog had ever done, he expected. They'd been travelling this way for most of the night, struggling through the icy water, stopping to recover when they could find a rock large enough to start a small campfire. He had his belongings stuffed into a weathered guitar case at the end of a thin rope. It floated pretty well, so he only had to keep an eye on it and occasionally free it from a rock or some driftwood it was caught on. She asked if he had a guitar in his case or just clothes. He would have played her something, but the case leaked a bit and he didn't think it would sound right until it had time to dry out. She met a family of 5 on a block. She met a flower salesman. She met a painter of shipwrecks. He never worked from photographs, so his paintings could be divided in 2 categories. There were the ones he painted from life, and the Echo River was a very good source for these because its currents were so unpredictable and the tunnels so dark. He rendered these in oil paint by lamplight, working for hours cross-legged on the porch of his houseboat/studio. Then there were the ones he painted from memory. Mostly the memory of a single wreck he encountered as a much younger man, picking up litter where the coastal highway cleaves to the rocky beaches of Northern California. These were done in watercolor. He preferred to work on them in the morning, in a room he rented near the airport in Louisville. He had some postcard-sized sketches in charcoal, too, of the Iron Pariah. It wasn't a wreck exactly, but it felt right. He tried to scribble one down every time he encountered it, though it was so unpredictable. And he was so focused on details. He usually ended up with a handful of inscrutable marks. She met a flower salesman on a raft. They floated alongside in buoyant pots, bobbing untethered. He corralled them with a long pole and a stream of small adjustments. She leaned out over the water to get a closer look. He'd just started work for the day, so his stock was full. He pushed a few bouquets her way. First was an elaborate bundle of pomegranates, arranged in the Roman style. He said it was for a particular kind of person. If it didn't remind her of anyone in specific, she'd better move on. Next, a delicate mixture of dandelions. He was feeling distracted when he first designed it, but some customers found it hopeful. Finally, an elaborate mixture of snapdragons, made to look domestic. He suggested it would make an appropriate apology bouquet. He drifted away with the current, pushing his flowers along with the raft. She gave in, shut off the motor, and floated for a while. Then she knew what she'd been craving. A moment of silence. A moment of silence she shall have. Seems to be floating back towards the flower salesman. Act 4, Scene 9. Salmonitis. Oh man, this one looks cool. Let's get up there. So I'm to assume that the third guy on the skeleton boat was Conway being claimed by the distillery people? I think that's what happened. Just in time. We've already finished eating, but we're about to place a to-go order for Clara. She's back on board, getting ready for her show. Take a look at the menu. I'm sure there's something you'll like. Ida's a bit of a local celebrity. For her cooking, I mean. Hey, Ezra was just asking about you. He's around the corner playing a video game. Maybe go let him know you two are back. Or, where's the old man anyway? Oh, bad luck. You'll get it next time. Hey, got a quarter? He's almost got this. It's true. Sure, I have 1 quarter. I know those machines are rigged, but, you know, give the poor child hope. So, where's... They took him. Damn. Yeah, he really got himself in a situation there. Yeah, I'm gonna go sit down. Cool. The food is good here. I think everyone else is finishing up, but you could probably get something to go. Alright, Claw Maestro, let's give it another shot. So, let's see what's on the top of the pile here. There's a stuffed octopus, plastic bag full of clamshells. There's a cowboy hat and some big headphones. Now, that octopus had its leg wrapped around the boombox underneath it. The shells are pretty clear, but I don't know if the claw can really grip the bag well. Now, the cowboy hat is in the corner, so it's kind of tricky to tell if it's wedged in or not. Those headphones might be a good bet, but I can't see the cord. It could be wrapped around something. What are you going to try for? I can get the octopus. Oh, alright. I admire your confidence. Okay. When I put this quarter in, you'll have about 8 seconds to grab your prize. The octopus is square in the middle. Let me know if you need help lining it up. I've got a slightly different view of the field from up here. Ready? Here we go. Johnny inserts the coin and the machine awakens. Timer, 8. Oh, Jesus Christ. The claw hovers in the front left corner of the machine. Push the joystick up. Claw hovers halfway along the left wall of the machine. Pushes the joystick right. Stop this. Hovers in the center of the machine. Let me just check with Johnny. I like the music. Does this look right? Yeah, it looks good to me. Go for it. Alright, nice. Claw hovers in the center of the machine. Don't push anything by accident. Ezra pushes the button to drop the claw. Claw drops. It grabs the octopus. The octopus is attached too securely to the plastic boombox beneath it. Slips through the claw's grasp. God damn it. Oh, no good. I had a feeling that octopus was a little too comfortable in there. Damn it, I wanted the octopus. Hey, listen. It sounds like that old man you were following around, I guess he had to leave. Is he okay? Yeah, he's okay. I mean, I'm sure he could be better, but I don't think we need to worry about him. Anyway, I don't know what kind of plans you have now, but if you need help figuring out your next move, you can always talk to me and Miss Junebug. I just wanted to make sure you know that. Could I keep going with you? Hey, I've got no objection. We have a pretty ad hoc thing going, me and Junebug. I'd have to talk to her, but I bet you're welcome to tag along for a while if you're into it. Hey, maybe we still have time to poke around this place a little. They have some pretty wild stuff in here. Oh. Where is he going? Hey, did you see this? They keep a table full of fake food over here. Never known why. Actually, I think it might be real food coated with shellac or something. Preserved. Oh, and look, this tentacle-looking thing is half-eaten. This is someone's meal that they didn't finish? I dare you to take a bite. You first. Okay. Whoa, hold on there, I'm just kidding. If Sam and I had preserved this half-eaten meal, it must have been pretty important to them, right? Maybe it belonged to someone they care about, like a beloved uncle, had a mid-meal stroke and they kept it in his memory. Yeah, like these sunflower seeds my folks left behind. Oh, I'm sure your folks are fine, though. Are you worried about them? Yeah, it's weird that they just disappeared. Yeah, listen, that's okay to be worried. You're doing fine. Weird. Somehow I thought it was his truck and delivery and all. It was. That's what she's saying. But he gave it to her before they took him away. But you're going to deliver it anyway? Why? He's my friend. He needs my help to finish his job. That's right. He's our friend too. Johnny and I will help you unload when we get there. Lift with your legs, Cricket. Yes, ma'am. So how was everything? How was the sweet cave snail? Devastating. You're a killer, Ida. Well, I can't take all the credit. Sam came across a whole cave snail colony down there about a year back, and we've been leaving rock candy for them to gorge on since. We just started harvesting earlier this month. Yes, it's all about patience down here. Everything grows more slowly in the dark. There's a fish in Lake Leth that lives for 200 years, and its flavor profile only develops at about 75. I've got a pot of bones in there that's been stewing for at least a week. I don't even remember why I put them on. Come to think of it, I don't even remember what kind of bones they are. Oh, we need one for the road. Clara said she wanted, something primordial, she said. What does that mean? Kate reviews the menu. I think she meant something old-fashioned. Could be. Hands Shannon the menu. Here, you pick. I'm no good at this. Shannon inspects the menu. So many choices. Let's see now. Cedar plank salamander with red pepper, herb crust, and butter sauce. Black pepper crusted salamander kebabs. That sounds pretty good. Good choice. Your friend will love it. I'll have that right out, sweetie. What about Shannon? Shannon kind of needs to eat something. Ezra leans over the table and carefully examines the preserved food and drink. He prods a half-eaten tentacle. The tentacle is solid and fixed in place. We used to steam those. Juicy. But I prefer them smoked now. Sorry I startled you, sweetie. Why didn't they finish their meal? Well, they had more than twice as much food as they really needed, so even half was too much. This food is about 15 years old. It's true. Things were different then. Nobody came to eat here. We were fighting just to keep the lights on. Sam, my husband Sam, was depressed. He couldn't catch anything. That was part of the problem. Most of what we served was shipped in frozen or dried, and I just threw it in the fryer. We both came home after. We've both come a long way since then. Reading skills dying. Well, 2 young men came in for dinner. Seasoned divers, they said. Over 10,000 hours between them in Lake Leth alone. They'd been out all day, salvaging parts from a riverboat wreck, and had worked up a fierce hunger, they said. They ordered the whole menu without even looking. It was a short menu in those days. I sat them right here and went back to the kitchen. Sam was at the next table doing a Sudoku and drinking malt liquor, his usual routine at the time. An hour later, I was cleaning up when Sam came bursting into the kitchen. Ida, he said, kind of frantic. These divers are still hungry. Bring them another course. And I said they already ordered the whole menu. Sam said, make something new. Keep making up dishes, whatever. Just keep bringing out food. So I did until the small hours of the morning. I made up so many new dishes that night, I could write a book. And it was good. Inspired. But I was working so hot and fast at the burning edge of inspiration, I didn't think to write any of it down. And I was so wrecked with exhaustion the next day, I knew I couldn't remember what all I'd done in the kitchen. Sam thought we could take a photograph of the leftovers, but we couldn't get the lighting right. So we just shellacked the whole table. Now, when I need inspiration for the menu, I come over here and look and think about all those ingenious dishes I threw together for those divers. Of course, they didn't pay their full bill. I heard one of them complaining to the other, let's just pay half and let them charge the other half to whatever demon in the kitchen kept making up food faster than we could ask for. But it all worked out. Things have really turned around since then. This place is actually pretty popular now. The success and our expanded menu inspired Sam too. He started bringing back the most magnificent ingredients from his nightly dives. I'd better get to work. Stay right here, sweetie, and I'll bring you a treat on my way back out. Hello? I guess this is Sam. Yeah. Well, buddy, I guess you are the catch of the day. The one and only. So, what are you? You look like, well, some kind of squid, I guess. Kind of a mopey little guy, huh? Yeah, I can see it in your eyes. You smell like kind of dusty, dry. Where the hell have you been swimming? Skin feels like sandpaper. Huh. Well, she'll figure something out. I think I'll call you Sandpaper Squid. Welcome to Sam and Ida's, the one and only Sandpaper Squid. I hope you enjoy your saying. I mean, not too much. You ever seen a creature like me before? You were pretty far down there. I wouldn't be surprised if I'm the first. Except there were 2 divers who went before me long ago. Maybe that was before your time. How old are you anyway, I wonder? They ate here once, back in the bad old days. 2 young guys. Could have been brothers, maybe. I was over in the corner with my coffee and crossword. I hadn't been able to... not malt liquor and Sudoku, no. I hadn't been able to catch a thing, so I just fried up something from frozen. Wow, these guys were hungry enough to eat it and ask for more. And they did at least as much talking as eating. See, like I said, they were divers. And like I said, they might have been brothers. They had a kind of rivalry going between them or something. Ida was about to write up their check, but I slipped calmly and quietly into the kitchen for a minute and told her to just keep bringing out food. I figured they wouldn't notice, caught up in their boasting as they were, and I wanted to listen. They went back and forth for hours about all the deep and dangerous dives they'd been on, new tunnels they discovered, all the weird creatures they'd encountered at the weirdest depths of Lake Leth. It was like a dance. No, like a boxing match. Each story went deeper than the last. And I listened to every word of it, memorized every description of every tunnel and diving route they'd discovered. That's my map now, you see? For 15 years I've been using routes those two young divers discussed right there at the table. Yeah, I could write a guidebook to the depths of this lake, but I don't dare. Someone would steal my good diving spots, and then where would we be? See, people come here from all over just to try our daily catch, because they know it's unique. Ain't you proud? Since I can't write any of it down, I just preserved that table where they had their meal, so I could look at it to jog my memory, like they were eating pickled crab when they talked about that shipwreck full of salamanders. Pretty clever, huh? It's my own secret code. So they both have two different stories about this. That's good. Well, I'll be straight with you, Sandpaper Squid. There is one feature of this arrangement that I find unsettling. In fact, I lose a decent amount of sleep over it. I told you those boys were competing, right? One-upping each other, I mean. Each getting wilder and more adventurous as they traded tales. Well, I navigate mostly in the dark down there, just by going by touch and a kind of mental picture I can construct from their detailed boasts. And every time I explore a new diving spot from those recollections, I have to weigh it all against the risk that I'm headed right into a dangerous falsehood. One of those men could have felt for a moment like he was losing some ground in their little jewel, so he could have slipped on in a fake one there. Maybe told a fib about some dive he went on and found a colony of blind shrimp living in a discarded refrigerator. And when I get down there, my diving bell cracks open on a sharp rock where he said that fridge would be. And that's the end of Sam of Ida's. To be honest, that possibility puts the fear of death in me every time I touch water. Jesus. Hey, Sam. Good haul tonight. We'll see what you can make of it. Yeah, pretty good, I think. I hit some trouble down by the narrow tunnel. Some kind of fast-growing freshwater barnacles just about sealed it up. Picked away for half an hour before I gave up and went around the other way. But I got the catch of the day. That's the important part. That's what people travel for. What's the catch today? This here's a sandpaper squid. Mopey, sandpapery old squid. I don't know how she'll fix him, but that sandpaper quality ought to do something for a... what do they call it? Mouthfeel? You stay for another drink? I've got a dark rum that goes well with coffee. It's a bit early for me. Yeah, seems like it's always too early. Oh, she's got your food ready. You all enjoy your meal, alright? I do like the music in this game. Oh, here we go. The band's back.
Just passing through my treasures and my hopes are placed beyond the blue. Many friends and kin have gone.
He returns to the tugboat. Oh, I thought the music would continue. I'm sorry. I thought the music would keep going. See that? It just looks like a swirling mess of garbage, doesn't it? Well, that's what it is. I don't know why trash seems to collect right there of all the spots on the lake. It's always been that way. Everyone just navigates around it like it was an island or something. I think there's some desks and chairs swirling around the edge there. Those all-in-one desks, like they have in schools, if I remember right. It's been a few years since I saw the inside of one. Those must have been washed down from somewhere. I've never known for there to be a school in the lake. Oh, there was Gemini School of Beauty. It was run by sisters Cassie and Paula. Indistinguishable except for their haircuts. I wouldn't think they'd have used desks like that. We used to stop there most every night to let someone off for a cheap haircut. Student stylists, you know. They spared many a sailor the pain of a botched do-it-yourself job. But I guess they got in deep to the power company. Those blow dryers and curling irons burn a lot of coal. It's a shame they had to close down. The haircuts are gone, but the hair keeps growing. Yeah. This cluttered place makes a decent local museum. It's as good a history as I could ever tell. We arrived at a small houseboat neighborhood that sometimes hosted concerts for the pleasure of its residents, where Clara was scheduled that night to perform. Oh, that's who Clara is. Yeah, she was the Lithuanian girl. Now I recall. Ezra stayed on the tugboat to help Clara with her performance. Junebug and Johnny watched the show from the dockyard with the others. Act 4, Scene 10. A neighborhood. Oh, it's a theremin! Oh, it's one of those things that goes... You know, makes alien noises. Do it. Yeah, see that noise? You just use your hand by moving it closer and further away from the metal rods. And you stop the noise by hitting the left hand on that thing that's going horizontally. It's a really cool instrument. Oh. I remember this. I told you. Yeah, you don't have to say it. Only because it's always true. She played at the flower shop. Serrano opened. He was having trouble with his tape machine, so he just droned out on the lap steel. He got really into it. He went on for like forever. Everyone was falling asleep. Not everyone. I remember the air was warm, perfumed. You were playing with some pedals you found on the floor, and I was looking at the ceiling. I remember the ceiling was glass. During the week, that room was a greenhouse. I don't know where they put all the plants when they had bands in. Maybe outside, if the weather was nice. It was nice that night. Warm. Smelled like spring. I remember the folding chairs. So uncomfortable. But I guess it was their only option. They had to pack everything up during the week so there'd be room to display the flowers. The tape stuff sounds good. That kid's doing a good job. Yep. He's a natural-born tape player. So, we were talking about him earlier at the gas station. Sure, I haven't forgotten. Cricket. Cool, yeah, I know. Any, what do you think? About Ezra traveling with us for a while? We were in the back. Just watching Serrano. Serrano was really getting into it. We just let it wash over us. I started nodding a little. You pinched my elbow and we slipped quietly out of the room. If I sound hesitant or something, it's just... When I met you, when we met, we were nothing, just these little grey shadows. And we grew, and filled in, and... But we did all that together. Ezra, sure, he's just a kid, but he's already a person. What would that do to our system, our chemistry? We stepped outside into the warm night air. There was a horse tied up in the parking lot. Whose horse could that have been? Did somebody come to the show on horseback? Or maybe he belonged to someone in the neighborhood. It was a residential area. We went back inside to see if we could identify the horse's owner. Nobody in the greenhouse looked like they came in on a horse. We checked down in the basement too. I remember the air was cool and damp, like a cave. I remember the lingering perfume of the old greenhouse giving way to an earthy plant smell, like we were digging down into the roots. It was a little spooky though, so we went outside instead. We turned left into an alley. Oh, I didn't realize this was actually me walking around. I thought this was just choosing. We wandered down some low houses and came out onto an empty street. Hey, I got the masters for the new record back from Lazar. They're okay, but I... What? You listened to them without me? You were at the pet shop. I didn't think I could tear you free. Oh, okay. Anyway, there are a few spots where the strings distorted a little, and the whole thing has way too much reverb, but overall, it sounds pretty good. The new drum machine fits right into the mix. Nice. The only question is how to do it live. I can't control the drum machine and sing and dance at the same time, and you've got your hands full of guitar. We stepped into a 24-hour convenience store. I remember the radio was playing some old Patsy Cline, right? Or was it Connie Smith? The clerk was reading one of those conspiracy/celebrity gossip/Bigfoot sighting newspapers. We bought a small bag of carrots for the horse. The horse ate the carrots slowly and glumly. They're beautiful animals, horses. Everyone seems to agree. I think it's because they always look so sad. We got back to the greenhouse just as Clara was tuning up. She relaxed her shoulders, took a deep breath, raised both hands into the air, into their precise positions, and the room started shaking. Clara hit a note that made the glass rattle in sympathy, a perfect 2 octaves lower. She looked like a sorceress tearing down the building with an effortless wave and incredible focus, coaxing the empty air into some kind of moaning, rattling demon. That's the thing about the theremin. It's the only instrument you never touch. Well, that's not true. You touch it with your left hand. You could see a wave of concern propagating through the greenhouse. People looking up at the trembling glass ceiling, looking at each other to see if anyone else was worried, trying to catch Clara's eye and discern if she was doing it on purpose or not, if she was really trying to bury us all in glass. So how do you think we'll swing that, playing the drum machine live? We'll figure something out. Maybe glue it to the back of your guitar. Oh yeah. Or swap the buttons out for foot pedals. Or put the drums on tape beforehand like Serrano does. Oh yeah, guess we have a lot of options. Life is full of possibilities, Cricket. Yes, ma'am. It was a tense 5 minutes. We, the audience, alternated between fearing for our lives and lamenting hers that could have given her this kind of emotional experience to play this devastating song. Then slowly, gently, Clara's hands came to rest. The theremin went quiet, the glass stopped rattling, and the room relaxed, unharmed. Interesting. Hey, you can get some pretty cool sounds out of a theremin. Go look up any videos on YouTube about theremin songs and stuff. It's a very cool thing to play. I met a photographer once. I mean, one in particular. She even took my portrait. Can't imagine why. She said it would immortalize me. That was a metaphor, of course. She meant I'd never be forgotten. As she was disembarking, not far from here actually, the film fell out of her bag and was borne away by the current. I was working on the deck at the time. She shot me a sad, apologetic glance, but I wasn't bothered. It's no shame to be forgotten. Act 4, Scene 12. Silo of Late Reflections. What's this place like? Dogwood Drive. It's in a small town, or? I really don't know. I've got the manifest the old man had in his truck. Here. Lysette's Antiques. Mail order delivery. Return address. Shipping address. 5 Dogwood Drive. Packing list. And it's just numbers. I guess the inventory numbers of the antiques she was supposed to be delivering. Anyway, I'm glad you're coming with us. Yes. I'm always eager to see more of the country. And I enjoy the company. I will have to find a bus or a train to get on to Nashville by the evening. Well, they have buses everywhere, right? Or hey, I could drive you to Nashville. Seems I have a truck now, only... How are we going to get it up these stairs? It's quite a staircase. Is there something we could do with rope? Sure. I can think of a few things. I don't think it'll get the truck off the staircase, though. Looks like we're making the rest of this trip on foot. I don't even know what's in there. What if it's too much to carry? Nah, we've been loading and unloading gear since the stars were young. We're our own roadies, right? We've got expertise. Alright, Cricket. Let's get this delivery packed and tied into bundles. We're hiking it upstairs. What's in there? Antiques, I guess. Antiques. Antiques are... It's like junk, but people will pay for it. Oh. Sorry. I guess you'll be taking the bus after all. It's okay. It'll be an adventure. Shannon sighs and stretches. Tired? Don't worry, lady. We're almost there. Love their walking noise. Hello? Game. End of Act 4. Oh. Oh. We've done it. Probably the longest stream I've ever done. Didn't realize it was going to be that long. What fucking time is it? Oh, Jesus. Oh, that is a long time. So yeah, that's Act 4 done. That is all that exists currently of Kentucky Route Zero. Act 5 supposedly coming out either the end of this year or the beginning of next year.